Hello everyone, it's Lisa Jane here and welcome to my YouTube channel if you're looking at one of my videos for the first time. If you like what you see, then please subscribe and drop a comment because I am guided by your feedback as to what content it is you'd like to experience from me. And as far as possible, I will try and share my guidance and align it to what it is that you like to hear. So what has happened during this last few weeks, for me anyway, with the COVID, is that there are times when I receive a wealth of information and there are times when it goes quiet, which is actually my chance to do healing because that's also been happening a lot for me. So I'm in one of those phases again where a lot of information is coming, and I have been asked by my guidance and kind of driven to share this video today about spiritual awakening, since it feels like that might be a question on a lot of people's minds right now. Now, let me first start off by saying that there are many offerings to help you understand if you're going through a spiritual awakening, what a spiritual awakening means, and every teacher will likely have different opinions. So maybe what I would like to do first is just share my belief, and then I can take you through the points that are, from my experience, evidence of some kind of spiritual awakening. So first and foremost, what am I? I'm a healer. I am guided to work with energy in all of its forms and with your field to move you to a place where you can stand in your highest vibration and achieve your fullest potential on this planet. So a catchphrase that was given to me is caretaker of souls, and in that way what I do is I work with you and the field to release that heavier stuff and help you move to a higher place. That's very simplistically put, right? Obviously there's a lot more complexities to the work. But I'm a healer first and foremost. What comes from my healing work in terms of my channeling is not only do I channel healing information in terms of a particular client, but I also channel guidance, spiritual teachings which I'm asked to share. That's me in a nutshell. Now let's get down to what I want to talk about. Have you got the question, am I experiencing a spiritual awakening, yes or no? So this COVID has raised the energy to the extent that a lot of people are going through some kind of awakening process, and it isn't always comfortable. For me, let me define the word spiritual, because there's many references to that, and I don't want you to hook onto a single way or a single meaning, because it can be different for different people. So my definition of becoming more spiritual is actually just a greater awareness that we are more than this body and we are more than this lower mind. Being spiritual, moving to a way of being more spiritual, having a spiritual awakening is just an awareness that there's something more and a yearning to follow that up, right? Because we can have an awareness that something more and then actually think, well, I'm not going to follow that path, right? I can step off. So it's your choice. Firstly, that's what I want to say. It is your choice as to whether you choose to follow the path or not. And we all have free will. So it's not necessarily that you have to follow the path, but you may choose to. So for me, spirituality is an understanding and awareness that we are more. And if we just look at it simplistically, we are vibration, we are energy. And that energy vibration manifests in unique representation on this planet, in this body, in this life. And certain choices have been made before we arrive as to how the life will play out. Now you may not align to that, but that is my belief, is that the soul has the greater awareness of what our life is going to be like on this planet. So that's my definition of spirituality out the way. So if you were to ask me, am I having a spiritual awakening and what are the signs of the spiritual awakening? Well, I wrote some things down because I don't want to make it too complicated. That's my teaching also. It's simple, it's practical. So for me, there are 5 signs that you may be going through a spiritual awakening. These are by no means an exclusive list. There can be more, and you may find other texts or teachers that give reference to other things. But particularly where we are now in our human evolution, there's 5 things. And I'll list them at the bottom here too, in case you just wanted a short reference and you didn't want to listen to the whole video. But it would be great if you do, because hopefully I can share kind of some summaries at the end. So the first one that actually seems to be the most common, and I've felt this for a long time now, and I've seen clients for at least 8, 12, 18 months, is crying for no reason. A client comes, they say to me, you know what, I'm just crying. I'm crying in the supermarket, I'm crying at home, and there is nothing that has triggered it from an external point of view. It's just this force within me that started moving. So I'm not going to speak too much about that because I have created a video, and the link is there if you want to watch it, or there, whichever way you're looking at it. But there's a link to the video that you can watch about that. Crying for no reason is, for the most part, and I'm not saying in all senses or all cases, for the most part an opening of the heart chakra. And the majority of people on the planet have said, yes please, I want my heart chakra to open. And if you don't even need to know what a chakra is, but it's basically the human population or the consciousness has said, we need to change. We need to uplift. This is no longer working, right? We need to become more loving, more connected. That automatically triggers an awakening of the heart center. Now, COVID itself and the arrival of the virus has instilled a mass awakening in the sense that it may well have triggered your heart center, and the first opening may well have occurred, which would be prompted or shown to you as crying for no reason. So that's the first step. And it's not going to happen to everyone, but it is a sign that something is going on with you energetically, right? The second one is, and I'm pretty sure most people are experiencing this, is vivid dreams, or more vivid than normal. So maybe you've always had vivid dreams, or maybe you've had very detailed dreams, but at this point in time, you might find they've changed. You might find there's more people in your dreams. You might find that they're longer, they're more detailed. We are living in one field of consciousness. And the dream world is the world that connects us all, right? And there's various realms we might travel to in the dream world. Some lower ones and some higher ones. Obviously, we also want to take note of what realm we're tapping into, because as a unified field of consciousness and with all of the fear and anxiety, our dreams might be tapping into just that level. But once we start becoming aware of that, and if you are having dreams where you're fearful, where you're anxious, where troubled things are happening, it's an indication that you are gaining an awareness that there is something beyond your mind and body. And what you can do then is work with your dreams to move through those levels so that you're not just at the bottom plane of the overall anxiousness and fear, right? And again, I will share more information in one of my later videos about how to do that. So that's the second sign. The third one that I've got down is, and we've almost been forced into this, but it's a yearning for solitude. It's a yearning for silence, or it's a yearning for nature. That yearning might have been there all the time, and you just didn't have sufficient capacity or opportunities in your life to do that. But it might well be something that's just instilled now with everything that's going on, is a yearning to be on your own, a yearning to be in silence. Now, this is a sure sign that the highest aspect of you, soul, higher mind, higher self, however you want to name it, is asking you to look up, is asking you to wake up to aspects of yourself that you haven't been aware of, either because you haven't spent time in self-contemplation or you haven't really been interested in it before. This situation that we find ourselves in is forcing people to a place where it really is offering you an opportunity to go within. So acknowledge that and find ways, whatever ways work for you, to go into a silent solitude type of environment, but use it proactively in terms of contemplation. Use it to become more aware of yourself, right? And whatever tools you can find out there to either meditate, to do a guided meditation, really just to sit with a cup of coffee and a journal in silence, in solitude, all of those will add to your experience of yourself and help you become more aware. And as I said at the beginning of the video, more aware is in fact more spiritual. Right, so that was number 3. Number 4 is perhaps a state of questioning everything. Now you may well say, oh well, doesn't this whole situation just make us question everything? Well, not necessarily, right? Questioning everything and the meaning of everything especially is a sign that you're increasing your awareness of yourself as an energetic vibrational being. So if you find yourself questioning, if you're looking at the meaning of life and finding yourself descending into maybe a depression because you're asking yourself, well, what is the meaning of life anyway? I'm locked here, I don't have money, I've lost my job. If you can gather the energy or seek help in terms of seeing someone like myself, an energy healer, or someone near you who offers healing energetically, then do that, because you will need to be supported to lift yourself enough out of that sinking in, to be aware that this is offering you an opportunity to look at your life with new glasses, to look at those aspects of your life that maybe don't hold meaning for you anymore, like a job that you're bored to hell with, or a relationship that maybe you're suffering emotional or mental abuse and is really not good for you. Don't allow yourself to sink into the pit. And again, I know it's easier said than done, right? But I have compassion for you. But what the point is here that I'm trying to get across is, rather see it, step back a little bit, be an observer, say, oh, I can see what's happening, and rather see it, okay, what I'm trying to understand from this is it's asking me to look at where I have meaning and where I don't have meaning, and just see it like that to start off with. There's no need for major shakes and changes just yet, but you might also be prompted with that. That's number 4. And the last one that really I wanted to kind of talk about is, and it leads to the first one, is a yearning for something more. A realization that all of those things that your life was built of before, be it the drive to get a fancy new car, the drive to have a bigger house, and again, there's no judgment on this, I'm not judging you, it's just an external way of finding gratification and inner peace. But you may well find that those things are not making you happy anymore, that you're wondering, well, I worked for all of this, I have this beautiful house, and now I'm wandering around on my own or with people I don't even enjoy being around, and this really has no value for me. So the yearning for something more as a sign of a spiritual awakening is really that you're beginning to realize that anything external cannot feed you internally, right? And the soul only knows truth. The soul only knows authenticity, in the sense that anything that is inauthentic and actually underneath in the deeper layers does not make you happy or does not have sense for you or meaning for you is going to be peeled away, right? So those 5 steps: crying for no reason, vivid dreams, a yearning for solitude, questioning everything that might lead to turmoil and a bit of depression, or a yearning for something more, are 5 simple signs that you're going through a spiritual awakening, if you wanted to term it that. So it really offers you the opportunity to step back a bit, to become the observer, to really identify those things that make you happy. And it's not always a simple process. It might require some inner work, some support from therapists, psychologists, energy workers, spiritual teachers that might help you through that. But underneath everything, it is a golden opportunity to open up the path of your dreams. Because if there's anything I know, and this comes from my own personal experience and my own spiritual awakening or spiritual path, whatever you'd want to call it, is that once you start listening to the authentic voice of your heart's wisdom and your soul, the path and the stepping stones will be laid out ahead of you that will ultimately lead to greater happiness. That I do know. And even if your head at this point can't see it and can't see any steps and really feels like you're in a stuck situation, if you can really begin to offer yourself time, commitment, and compassion in learning to become more self-aware, to listen to those inner voices, then that is the first step towards a greater experience of life and a more fulfilling experience of life. So I will put links to some of the videos below that you may find useful. I invite comments, because without comments I can't ascertain what material you want to learn more about. I'm here to share. I'm here as a healer and caretaker of souls, and I trust my connection to Source implicitly. That is the only connection I work with. I go to the highest source of wisdom. Whilst there might be many guides and spiritual helpers around me, I still align to Source first and foremost through the wisdom and energetic framework of my own heart and higher self, guided by that. And I always create these videos with the intention for your highest healing and good, so maybe even just watching it, you feel some healing energy and you feel better after listening. That would be fabulous. So I send you so much love and blessings. I hope I've offered something of value. I thank you deeply for listening. Have a look at all my other links below in terms of my website and Instagram. And I am with you all. I feel what's going on. I'm working with you every day. And I send you love from Cape Town, South Africa, where it's a beautiful day. And take care of yourselves, and we'll chat again soon. Bye for now.